on Claire's toy box.
And
Action.
and Dad's loves the girls.
Yeah. That's Dad's new YouTube channel.
Yeah, Dad. Then this YouTube channel is Claire's Toy Box, Brady's Reaction. Dad loves his girls.
Okay, so what is it?
Oh, so
How about Dad's Love World?
Dad's Love World. That's a good one.
Yeah, so that's his channel.
So
Dad's
the book
is
we're reading is
called
tonight is Winston and George.
Winston and George. Yeah. Who is Winston and George? The alligator and the
It looks like a little bird
and a dinosaur.
or alligator.
Why not just call it alligator or dinosaur?
Oh, kind of like dinosaurs, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, because they have sharp teeth.
All right.
I'm. This alligator's a big one. I thought that was like a creepy monster. The illustrations are pretty.
Already?
Guess what, guys? If you see a crocodile in Florida.
That's right. Crocodiles are in Florida. They do live there. Already, yours?
Yes.
Along a sleepy river deep in the jungle, there once lived a very, very patient
Already
crocodile. We listen?
Mm-hmm.
There once lived a very, very patient crocodile named Winston.
Winston, you know.
Now, this crocodile and the crocodile bird named George were especially good friends. And they spent each day together on the river, out river fishing. George would perch on the very tip of Winston's snout, looking into the water for fish. And the moment he spied one, he would yell, "Dive!"
Dive! And then they're
See?
like,
There he is, sitting on the very edge of his nose.
can I see?
Winston would then plunge deep into the water while George hovered in the air, waiting for his friend
It's like it's so much.
to come to the surface with a nice fish between his jaws.
I can't see it from here. Oh, yikes. I'm not even seeing it.
Then they would go ashore, where they enjoyed many delicious meals together.
Just open the door.
Close it because we're recording. The cam's in there making noise. George, however, had a very bad habit of playing pranks.
Can I see
One
it,
day,
George?
while Winston was dozing with his neighbors, George flew over and yelled, "Danger! Danger!" The crocodiles immediately plunged into the river, for crocodiles always believe warnings from crocodile birds. They made a huge splash, which delighted George greatly.
Like this.
Yeah.
Like this. Way
Yeah.
like way down fast.
When nothing happened, the crocodiles swam ashore and demanded, "Just what danger did you see?" I thought I saw danger prowling through the jungle," George stammered. "A dangerous danger. A very scary, dangerous danger." The crocodiles grumbled that he wasn't telling the truth. And the oldest, meanest snapped his jaws with great clattering of teeth and warned, "A crocodile bird that plays pranks deserves to be eaten up." One afternoon, when the jungle was so steamy and hot that Winston had to take his nap in the water, George once again couldn't resist a prank and pushed his friend straight out into the middle of the river. Winston woke up 3 miles downstream. When he finally got home after swimming all night against the current, the other crocodiles laughed and said, "This will teach you to be patient. Why don't you just eat up that bird as we told you to do?" The thought of fishing alone out on the river without George made Winston too sad to even answer.
Winston is the one crocodile that loves crocodile birds.
That's right.
Is crocodile birds an actual bird?
Yeah.
Yes.
It like lands on them, and the crocodiles open their mouth, and the birds eat all this yucky stuff in between their teeth.
Yeah. Like.
Yeah. It's like a
That was
crocodile toothbrush.
The only thing is, crocodiles don't like people. They only like crocodile birds.
Absolutely. All right. Then one early morning, while they were out fishing, George looked down from Winston's snout and spotted a shoal of soft mud on the bottom of the river. Once again, he couldn't resist a prank. "Dive! Dive!" George shouted. Down Winston dove, but instead of a fish, he found his nose stuck firmly in the mud. It was very funny at first to see a crocodile's feet and tail kicking and wagging in the air. Then George realized his friend was stuck. He grew frightened. He flew around and around, first to the hippopotamuses and then to the crocodiles, but no one offered to pull his friend from the mud. Instead, they laughed and said, "That's what he gets for all his pranks." George flew back to his struggling friend. He tickled him, hoping that would help him wiggle free, but Winston had lost all his patience, and being tickled only made him angrier. Then suddenly, his legs stopped kicking, and his tail stopped wagging, and began to droop and droop and droop.
Why? You mad?
Soon the crocodiles and hippos swam him over to see what the commotion was about. "We'll pull your friend out, but only if you promise to stay inside his jaws and be gobbled up as you deserve." "I don't care if he gobbles me up," George pleaded. "Please, please, please save him." "Very well," said the crocodiles and the hippos, and they made a long chain and began to pull and tugged and tugged and tugged until with one final yank, Winston flew over their heads and landed far on shore. They all crowded about. As soon as Winston had recovered, one of the crocodiles said, "Now that we've pulled you out of the mud and saved your life, aren't you going to gobble up that bird of yours?" Winston blew mud from his nostrils and answered, "Why, of course I'm going to gobble him up." And this pleased them all very much. Winston opened his huge jaws while the others urged George on. "Go on in as you promised. Climb in. Don't keep him waiting." Reluctantly, George stepped over Winston's sharp teeth and stood inside, waiting for his end to come.
That guy has red teeth.
Yeah.
That looks like he's been eating.
Winston snapped his jaws shut, and then he made a swallowing sound from deep in his throat and stomach, followed by a loud burp. Once again, this pleased them all very much.
Like, oh!
And then, when the last crocodile and the last hippopotamus had waddled back to the river, Winston opened up his jaws, and there was George, alive as ever, safe on his friend's soft tongue. George stepped from Winston's mouth and thanked him again and again. And from that day on, George didn't play any more pranks on his patient crocodile, although he was tempted many, many times. The end. See, that's a crocodile bird.
And this is a crocodile.
Yeah.
As you guys can see.
Check it out, guys. Here's a crocodile, and that's a little crocodile bird.
I have seen a crocodile bird before.
Okay, so here's the little thing. It says crocodiles and crocodile birds. Real crocodile birds live in Africa and about the size of pigeons, but have very long legs for walking. They are water birds, member of the plover family, and keep company with the crocodiles along riverbanks. They are said to enter the open jaws of crocodiles to pick their teeth, but no scientist has ever reported seeing this. Instead, they have been found to pick leeches and lice from the crocodile's leathery, scaly skin. Crocodiles also like crocodile birds because they are constantly alert and cry out as soon as they see danger. Many birds, even in our backyards, flutter about and warn each other of danger. But between this small, smart bird and the giant, fierce crocodile, there's a special friendship. Real crocodiles are neither good nor bad. They are beautiful and scary, and the same way a lion is beautiful and scary. They don't eat crocodile birds because nature gave them the jaws to eat much larger animals. Crocodiles are reptiles and look much like their ancestors did back when other reptiles, huge dinosaurs, roamed the earth. There you go, Briggs.
I'm gonna look like a crocodile.
This book's a crocodile.
Dad, can you do that again?
Oh, sure.
Again.
All right, guys.
That's over today.
Love you guys.
That's over today on Claire's Toy Box. I'll see you next time.
See you next time, guys.
Shout out.
Oh, you want to do shout outs real quick? Who do you got, Braids?
Ethan and Jonah.
Ethan and Jonah. What up, guys? Love ya. All right, guys. Ready?
Bye.
Good night.